Saludos programas and welcome for another AEW Friday Night Rampage review. I am as always, am the nerdy Puerto Rican Adolfo, and with me, as always, is Mikey.
Hi.
And tonight we have a very special guest joining with us. It is Alice. Say hi, Alice.
Hi, Alice. I don't know about very special, but I'm here. So yeah.
Well, yes, it's very special because we know how much of a fan of this episode of AEW Rampage are. So let's get right into it. And what I thought was match of the night, we opened up AEW Rampage with Mike Santana against Ortiz. We had some animosity and we had some buildup in the weeks coming to this match. Mikey, what did you think?
See, my only disappointment with this match is we put it on Rampage. We could have put it on Dynamite, and honestly, I feel like it would have done a lot better because the last couple of weeks of Dynamite have been up or down as well. But I thought this was a strong opener. I had to go back and watch Rampage a second time to come to the understanding because I had questions upon initial view, and I'm like, wait, why are they fighting each other? Did I miss something? Did they say it's a no DQ match? And then I had to scroll through everything. I was like, oh, they didn't even say it on commentary. I had to find out via social media that that's what it was. Commentary, I love you guys, but you got to get it together because I had questions. I was like, so are we just breaking the rules? That's fine. But other than those two critiques, I really thought this was a strong opener. It sucks that these two probably aren't going to be the tag team Proud and Powerful anymore, which makes me a little bit sad. But I do appreciate that they were able to kind of hold off from killing each other backstage to try to kill each other in the ring. It was the thing of beauty. I really enjoyed this match, and I'm interested to see what happens because Sanjay Dutt all of a sudden came out at the end of that, and
Yes, he did.
I'm very interested to see what he and Ortiz are going to be doing.
Yep. Alice, what did you think of the match? You kind of came into this match cold, so you didn't see a lot of the build-up. What do you think?
I thought the match was good. So I'm kind of like new to wrestling, so I kind of figured like there are no rules. Like, the rules are made up and the points don't matter. Whoever wins, wins. That's kind of how I was feeling about this match. I was a little bit nervous, like, because they came out so strong, right? This was very clearly a good opener, but if we're going to start at this high level, then we need to, like, there needs to be everything else needs to match that, right? And unfortunately, I don't think this particular episode of Rampage did that. But this was, I think, in my opinion, a good opener, an exciting match to watch. And yeah, I didn't like you said, I came in cold. They didn't know what was going on or why they were fighting. It's fine. But it was good. It was entertaining. I liked how we like immediately went for all the goodies under the ring, the mat, something. So that was fun. Yeah, overall very entertaining, I thought.
Okay. And this brought us to our first segment of the night, which I thought went a little bit long, but it was a hype package for the Kenny Omega MJF match that happened on Collision. Mikey, what'd you think?
So I agree with you in the sense that it went on a little too long. See, I'm a little torn. I feel like we could have used this spot to do a little bit more with something for Rampage, but at the same time, I can't necessarily hate it because I'm excited for MJF versus Kenny Omega. I hope Kenny Omega loses because I want him to continue to go this downward spiral for his character, which is more interesting than if Kenny wins. I feel like if we shortened the length a little bit, but still had, well, the ending was a little weird too, because all of a sudden Jay White comes out for Kenny Omega, and that didn't really go anywhere. I feel like MJF did a little bit better when Don Callis came and interrupted him. But then, of course, MJF being MJF with the line of the night, I'm just like, oh, we really went? Oh, okay, MJF. That's where we went. All right, cool, I guess. Listen, I have expressed my disdain of the lack of depth that MJF is having in his character right now. The best way is he is a perpetual middle school boy who is stuck in a 20-something-year-old body. I want him to come with better comebacks, but again, I thought this was fine. Though I feel like we could have used some of this time to add something else in between because 3 matches is unacceptable in Rampage.
Yeah. Alice, what did you think of this package? I know that you have feelings about both the wrestlers that were involved in this video package. What do you think of the MJF Kenny Omega package?
Yes, so I do have feelings about both wrestlers in this package you were calling it. So Kenny Omega is so boring. Oh my god. Please, like, do something with your face. Make me care about this. You're like, I reserve the right to defend my. Do something, please. Like, I can really hear what you're saying, so thank you. I appreciate that. But I want some like expression. Like, please do something. I'm so bored. Sorry. But yeah, it felt a little long. It felt like a 10-15 minute ad for the next show, Collision, which I don't really feel like had the best place in Rampage. I know they're trying to build it up and they're trying to get everybody really excited. I do agree with Mikey. I think it will be really exciting and a more interesting story if uh, if Kenny Omega loses. I thought that MJF carried that whole thing. Don Callis came in. It didn't really make sense. I did appreciate oh yeah, I'll do. Oh no, just kidding, right? I mean, he's doing, he's going in with like his big MJF like attitude and like, yeah, sure, his it is a little like attitudinal, like he's like a 13-year-old boy. I'm definitely getting that vibe, but I think I appreciate the way that he leans into it. And I find him very engaging. So I thought that he really carried that whole segment. And yeah, the whole greasy juice, what's his name? Came in
Jay
and he was
White.
all, yeah, Jay White. I don't know. He always looks greasy to me, so I call him Greasy. Um, so he came in and I'm like, okay, are you going to actually do something, or we're just here? Okay, we're just here, I guess. And then it ended.
And it did indeed. Yeah, I think they could have shaved 5 minutes. So just because the video package and the script just felt like it was chasing itself over and over again. I feel like they could have just said what they said at first, and then they could have put the spots with Don Callis and Jay White, and then we could have tacked, like you said, either had a fourth match or tacked that time on to one of the other matches. Because this video package just led into a backstage spot where we had Chris Statlander out there with Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue. Willow and Sky Blue being affected by the Julia Hart voodoo. What'd you think, Mike?
So, okay. Listen, I am here for this storyline that is happening between Julia, Willow, Sky, and Chris Statlander. Like the four of them, I think has been one of the more engaging women storyline. But I also think that's because of the fact that most of these women are Collision and Bryan Danielson is doing the booking over there. So it's a completely different show. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I feel like I finally got my answer that Willow is not as emo as Sky Blue because the power of positivity, I guess, is a thing for Willow, which is fine. But toxic positivity can only take you so far. I see. I love it, but I hate it at the same time. I love these three together, but the fact that they are a number one contendership for Hikaru Shida's title and not Chris's title is a little questionable at best because Chris is involved in the storyline. I feel like if they're going to do a fatal 4-way contender, it should be for Chris's title because you have half of the participants involved with Chris and Julia Hart. So I feel like those four, unless we're leading to something for Full Gear, but I like the segment. I just feel that this storyline was just a story beat, and the match itself that we would get later didn't play into Chris's title at all. It was to see who's going to face Hikaru, which makes no sense to me. And I'm sad because minus Goth Barbie, as we'll talk about her later, I feel like 3 out of the 4 participants are some of my faves, but we'll get there. But overall, I like the segment. I just wish that the Fatal 4-Way was for the TBS Championship and not the AEW Women's Championship, because then it would make more sense.
Right. Alice, what did you think of this segment?
I thought the segment was good. I think, I feel like they're putting some effort into actually creating stories for the women's division. The women's division, which is great. That's really exciting. I do think this is just kind of like being nitpicky and looking at it as a performance. It did come across as rather dry. They were like, I have these lines and I'm going to deliver them. So yay, you delivered the lines. But I am looking forward though to seeing where the Julia Hart mist goes. I do love me some spooky shit. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, it didn't, like Mikey said, it didn't really matter in terms of the very next match, which was the Fatal 4-Way. So aside from giving, again, Collision more attention, I'm not sure why it was in Rampage.
Fair. So yeah, the next thing coming out though was actually a really short segment with Kip Sabian, who came out and he was making fun of the Philly sports teams. Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick because this is a big.
I forgot. I got so mad about that. I wiped it from my memory. Oh my God.
See, this is just my nitpick, and I know why all the wrestling company. Well, I can't say all of them because I have yet to see Impact do this when they go into different towns. But I'm so sick and tired of heel characters always hating on the sports teams. I was like, it's been a trope since like way back in the days, and I'm like sick of it because I'm like, no, but listen, some people care, but I'm one of those few people that don't. Like outside of professional wrestling, I don't care about any other sports. It is not my thing, and it's the same thing over and over again. I will say though, I'm not mad that Kip Sabian was the one to do it because this was actually kind of funny the way he did it. It wasn't true like Dick Dastardly twirling the mustache kind of heel. It's a comedic heel. Also, by the way, Kip Sabian's outfit, I'm here for it. And listen,
yes,
I love the sleeves and everything. I was just like, I don't know what this is, but I'm here for it. And also, Penelope Ford, girl, you look good too. Why are we not seeing her wrestle more? Because we know she can go. She can go. You could have now that I think about it, put Penelope Ford in instead of Anna Jay in the Fatal 4-Way. That would have been a lot of fun. I'm just putting it out there. But I hate the trope of bagging on the sports teams, but Kip Sabian did a good enough job to make me not hate it because I like Kip Sabian, so therefore I'm going to be biased about it. And then, of course, I like that Mark Briscoe is back from injury. I have missed him on my television screen. The master of chicken kung fu, as he likes to call himself, is ridiculous. Please don't mess this up, you guys. Please don't.
Yeah, it was nice to see Mark Briscoe back on our TVs. So that was nice. But then this took us to a really quick segment in the back with Renee Paquette and the remnants of the Jericho Appreciation Squad with Anna Jay, aka Emo Barbie.
I was calling her Goth Barbie, and
Goth Barbie,
this whole segment was a disaster.
I was mad.
Absolute disaster. I could not stand this segment. It was absolutely terrible. No, thank you. she's I really wanted to like her, right? Like her outfit's cool, whatever. And then this one guy who's like, hey, she's talking, right? Like he's actually gonna like step in and like let her do that. Nope, we're just gonna stomp all over the woman yet again. Okay, that's cool. This is fine. I'm gonna throw things and I'm gonna leave. All right. I, it had such potential to be a nice segment, to like be great and like build some animosity between other things, and they just oh my god, garbage, absolute garbage, in my opinion.
Okay, see, Alice, because I kind of agree with you, and this segment made me mad in the sense that I like Anna Jay, and it did start off very, very well. Um, but what made me mad is the fact that all the guys kind of ran over her, including Again, Don Callis did not need to be in this segment. This was weird. I was like, bro, of all you say you need a tag team. No shade to, the former JAS boys, but really? Those are the guys you're going to go to? I mean, it kind of makes sense because they're goobers anyway, so I guess they would say yes. Poor Anna Jay, man. Like, even since joining JAS, she's just a glorified babysitter, and the disrespect from the guys tonight was not okay with me. I have to give some props to Daniel Garcia because he's just like, hey, bro, we're in the middle of something. Like, why are you interrupting Anna? And then, okay, I kind of like what happened afterwards towards the end of this, only because if we get like some sort of like greaser-esque type of mixed tag team between Ruby and Cool Hand Ange, I'm kind of digging the aesthetic. But then once again, it makes me feel sad because I'm like, no, we don't need Ruby Soho to go from being one valet to Saraya to being another valet for one of the JAS boys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I did like Ruby's outfit. I was like, yes, I'm here for this outfit. But that's about
Yep.
the only thing I liked about this was the outfit from Ruby, because everything else, like Alice said, this was a mess. And it was
Yeah.
rude, and it made me mad. And it continues to show me that Tony Khan doesn't know how to book women's division
Book the
stuff.
women's division. Yep. This was another segment that could have been just hacked out completely, and that time could have been given, to a squash match or
just have Daniel and Anna only. That's it. You didn't need everybody else.
Right. Or we could have given some more time to finally we do get to our fatal four-way, which was Abaddon against Anna Jay, against Sky Blue, and against Willow Nightingale. The winner of this match was going up against Hikaru Shida and the Women's Championship on Collision. What did we think of this match? I'm going to flip it up. Alice, you go first this time.
Okay. So our winner of this match was Abaddon. I don't know if you said that. So this was okay. It was an okay match. God, is Anna Jay, is that her name? Goth Barbie was oh my god, a cardboard. I don't know. What did not she was not exciting or engaging or doing anything really. She was just kind of there to like take the pin, and like why was she even in this fatal four-way? We also had some animosity between Willow and Blue Sky with the mist thing going on. And then, for like the second half of the match, the two of them were just out of the ring. And I feel like Blue Sky, Abaddon, and Willow are and they did have some good moments together, the three of them. That was nice. But they're such good wrestlers. I really feel like they could have spent more time, actually showing off what they're capable of doing. And I feel like there were a lot of missed opportunities here, because especially having Abaddon pin Goth Barbie, it just didn't feel like an earned win to me. And I feel like she deserved better. Like she deserved a better win, like if she'd pinned like Willow or Blue Sky or something, I think that would have felt better. Maybe if it went a little bit on, maybe longer, instead of having like Goth Barbie in and out of the ring, just kind of showing up there to be beat up, just some actual back and forth and like trade, like I guess like trade transitions of power, right? We didn't really see a lot of that, and that was disappointing to me.
All right, Mikey, what'd you think?
So, uh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of happy to see Abaddon win just because I love them. I think Abaddon versus Hikaru is going to be fun. I'm upset because I know why Tony Khan booked Abaddon to win because we're this close to Halloween, and for some reason we only get to see Abaddon around the spooky season, and that kind of makes me sad. See, again, it goes back to what I said during the Chris, Willow, and Sky Blue segment. I feel that you should have switched up some of the women here. Like, I feel like you could have had Willow or Sky, but I don't think putting both of them in was a smart idea because they're supposed to be friends, and they're kind of working through their thing about with Julia Hart misting them in the face and everything. And I've never liked friends or tag teams in Fatal Four Ways as individual competitors because then it's just a mess because they're supposed to be a team, but then you're playing on the dynamic of, oh no, that's now it's everyone for themselves without any build up to it. I also feel like there are other women, even if they weren't really going to be considered a true threat. I think it would have been better to switch it out. Like if we were going to keep the Fatal Four Way, I honestly would have a representative from all four. If you're including Ring of Honor, I would have put Willow. I would have still kept Abaddon. I probably would have replaced Sky. Let's see. Honestly, I would have put Nyla Rose in there maybe just because I think it would be fun and would again, you want different archetypes because there's Abaddon and Willow are kind of two separate things, but Sky Blue and Anna Jay are kind of too similar that their move sets are kind of similar. And even though she lost to Hikaru Shida, if you wanted to put Ruby in there or something, just mix it up a little bit. You also have other women where you can put Riho. You honestly just pick any of the Ring of Honor women like Rachel Ellering. You could have picked one of the Renegade twins, if you will.
Timeless Tony Storm.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. That was probably again. It made no sense that why she came out for Chris's title. It makes me mad because we already know it's going to be her and Hikaru Shida facing each other at Full Gear, which, by the way, I'm excited for that match anyways. But why is she here? Why?
I had the same question.
This was not for, I guess because it's number one contendership for Hikaru Shida's title, but still, it made no sense.
She had to direct the scene.
Oh my gosh.
She had to direct. Didn't you see she had the big thing? And
yes.
her butler was out there too with the cards. She was directing.
Adolfo, I wear glasses, but I wear glasses because I can't see that well. I'm not blind. I'm just kidding. But just this whole entire match made me sad because I'm happy to see Abaddon win, but a lot of things didn't click for me. And again, these are 5 amazing women's talents that could be utilized better, and it just continues to show that somebody, Maria Kanellis, please, I need you to go to Tony Khan's office and just let him have you book both the AEW and the Ring of Honor women's division, because your work in Ring of Honor booking the women is so much more better than what's Tony doing. Come on. Do better, Tony. But that's it.
Better, Tony Khan. Do better with the women's division. Week in and week out. Calling you out, Tony Khan. Anyway, so then we move on. We had a very quick segment. If y'all didn't know, this upcoming weekend, not this weekend, but this upcoming weekend, is National 69 Day. And it will be 69 days that the Acclaimed has held the title. So we should all 69 in their honor. Did I get that right?
Who wrote this?
Did I do that right?
I want to know who wrote this because...
Okay, we're moving on.
Listen, I normally love the Acclaim and Daddy Ass. I love them. I really do. Whoever wrote this script needs to be fired immediately. And I did get a chuckle, though, at the end with Max Kester. I was just like, what are we doing, Max? This is this is
When he
team
was
too
rubbing his
much, but
nipples,
I'm kind
yeah.
of here. It's like I was
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? I was like, this sounds like, again, it sounds, as a middle school teacher, this sounds like something my sixth graders would write. My sixth grade boys would write. It was very juvenile. And I get that's their shtick. But whoever wrote the script needs to be fired because, yeah, this was not great.
Alice, what did you think about National 69 Day?
The whole segment, my brain was just like, what am I even watching? What is going on? And especially, like you said, at the end, right, Mikey? Like, why? What is, okay, I understand, like, the scissor, right? I get it, right? I understand the joke. Um, this, among many other things in Rampage, did not make sense to me. It was just, they were all like, hey, let's take all this random stuff and just throw it all together and call it a show. I feel like it's kind of where we were.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, this whole 69 days thing is so random, but I mean, yeah, we're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We had a really quick news conference between Orange Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli. Um, they're wrestling at Dynamite for Orange Cassidy's title belt.
Was this the one with the suit?
With the
Yes.
suit. This is the suit.
I thought that was a commercial.
Okay, so like, why
That's
was
how
this?
bad.
Two things. Why was this here? And number two, why didn't you just play the whole thing? Because the whole thing would made more sense in context. But no, because I saw it first on social media and I thought it was hilarious. But they only played like the 10 seconds of it out of context. I was like, if you're gonna do it, you should have played the whole thing, or at least do like 30 to 40 seconds to get the gist of what's happening. Because, I laughed when Orange Cassidy said the thing about the suit, and then Claudio began to speak, and then we go straight into our main event. I was like, what was that supposed to do for me? Claudio
Yep.
didn't do anything.
Yep. But yeah, we went straight into our main event, which was Kyle Fletcher versus Takeshita, Konosuke Takeshita of the, what are we even calling the the Don Callis family, the Don Callis Renaissance Painting Club.
There was no Renaissance painting, though, and I was shocked. I was
I
like,
saw that. I
I'm kind of
was so pissed.
You're
Oh
so
man,
mad. Listen,
I was mad. I wanted to see Centaur Centaur and half naked Don Callis.
so okay, this went in a whole different direction because that was the original entrance, and now when I saw the jumbotron where I saw Takeshita's like half of his face and then half of a wolf. First of all, alpha male is so toxic. I hate that nickname in general, but
Yeah.
I like Takeshita, so I'm willing to bypass that. But on the other hand, did anybody else look at if you put the Takeshita face and the wolf together? I was like, that looks like a very comfortable Mexican mom blanket, like right there. Because let's be real, there are so many Latina grandmas and moms who have those big old comforters with like the wolves and everything. I was just like, AEW needs to get on that and sell those because I will buy that immediately. But yeah, I'm in the minority where I'm okay with no shirtless Don and Centaur Takeshita because the homoeroticism that was that painting made me question a lot of things about where we were going with the storyline. And it still doesn't make
So
me feel any
disappointing.
better because you
I'm
have the
disappointed.
Last Supper with everybody else up there when Don Callis makes his entrance, which is also very weird. I was just like, okay, sure, why not?
See,
Um,
they should have made for the Don Callis family painting. They should have made Don Callis an admiral and everyone else mermen, like reaching up to him as he stands
Stop.
upon a with water spraying, and he's just like pointing out into the distance, like.
That is more homoerotic than what we have seen so far. And actually, I feel like I would have preferred that. I don't know. That's how interesting I will say, I actually really enjoyed this match, but when this match started and I looked at my television screen and saw how much time we have left, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to go on for a bit. And I feel that was my biggest issue with this match. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Kyle Fletcher. I love me some Konosuke Takeshita. But you could have shaven like 10 minutes off of this and I would have been perfect. Or you could have saved this time length for a pay-per-view if you really wanted. And that's the other thing that makes me mad. I mean, Tony Khan treats Rampage just like a mix mash of whatever we can find. Let's just throw people on there. You could have saved Kyle versus Takeshita for Dynamite. You could have put this on a Collision. I would have watched this at Full Gear. But I don't know. I'm also very confused at what happened after the match as well, because I know this was a story beat, but I thought Kyle was done with them after losing to Kenny. And then, Don's like, this is what I wanted to see. I'm like, sir, you yelled at the man for losing at Kenny and you said all sorts of things to him after the match. I was like, if this is not gaslighting central, I don't know what is anymore.
So what do you think, Alice? What the last match, Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita?
I did not find this match very exciting. But I also agree, like, the Don Callis is tearing him apart for not winning against Kenny Omega, and then all of a sudden is like, yeah, you're part of the family. What are you doing? What is this? None of this makes sense. How did he I don't understand. I think, Fletcher's a good performer. I enjoy watching him wrestle. But, I also was trying to put a baby back to sleep, and then the match also put the baby and me back to sleep. So, that's how that went for me, at least. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, that's it.
All right, so that was your October 27th episode of Friday Night Rampage. Mikey, empanadas, what do we got?
So I'm probably going to give this like a 1.8 empanadas out of 5. And this is coming off of the heels of a very lackluster Rampage that was last week as well. Though I still hold firm to the belief that the opening match was probably the best match of last week. I mean, come on, Lucha Libre style. Like, how do we go from that to this? Like, last week was lackluster, but at least it was digestible. This is like somebody decided to make caldo for the first time, but they didn't like have the right ingredients and they just threw what was left over in the fridge. This is what this Rampage felt like. It's like, let's throw who hasn't been on television this week together and let's throw something together that we'll see what happens. And especially this week, it felt like Dynamite and Collision reared their ugly heads into all of this, and the Rampage itself actually suffered. Listen, I know we have Ring of Honor, and that's kind of like the independent thing, but I would love to see Rampage start to evolve into this is where you have all your independent / different promotions / just throw, the people that we don't use too often. And this literally, if you really, really wanted to, this really could be a small, just tie Rampage and Ring of Honor together, like have that cross promotion. I would be okay with it because Rampage right now is like, seems to be on its last legs. Like, I don't know what's happening, and it makes me really sad. But 1.8, the opening match was great. I love the main event if you shave like 10-15 minutes off of it, because I love the two talents involved, but all the storylines involved, the women's match made me sad more than anything else. I wasn't even disappointed. I was just sad. And there was a lot of misogyny throughout the backstage stuff too. Yeah, this was a weird one, and again, I'm so afraid because we're getting ready for Halloween soon, and anytime wrestling has shows around this time, things go out of hand, and this show is out of hand.
Alice. Am I? No. Yep. Alice. Empanada scale.
Okay, I thought this was a scale out of 10, but it's out of 5. So I'm going to adjust my score. It's a 1.5 empanadas for me. Yeah, no, absolutely a gazinta soup and nothing went together. I don't understand. This didn't make any sense. It didn't have any sort of cohesion or story. It was like, oh, guess what? We have really exciting things happening on Collision, but this is Rampage. We doing? Boo. Yeah, disappointing. The women's match made me sad. A lot of the spots made me sad. No, it's like an empanada that was like it's a 1.5 and it's 1.5 empanadas that were like fried at not the right temperature.
There we go. Yeah, I'm giving this Rampage 2 empanadas, 2 Costco frozen empanadas. I'll eat them. I will eat them. But it's like I gotta be like working a double at work, and that's like the only thing in the vending machine. I'll eat
As
it.
you're eating it,
You
you're
know what I mean?
slowly crying about it.
Right, and as I'm eating it, I'm like, or like I'm so half asleep that I don't even realize what's going in my mouth. So, but that was our Rampage review for October 27th. 2023. Join us next week. We got a lot of stuff going on. We have MJF versus Kenny Omega on Collision. There's going to be fallout from that. House of Black is going to be raising their heads again in Collision. And then in Dynamite, we have Orange Cassidy against Claudio for the Intercontinental belt. So until next Friday, I'm Adolfo, the Nerdy Puerto Rican. Mikey?
This is the boss. This is the boss man himself, Mikey.
Alice?
I mean, you just said my name, so, and that's me, Alice.
And we will catch you next time. Hablamos luego.